Dear friends, you're in the middle of a summary channel. In this video we're going to discuss the most important events that took place during the previous 12 hours. We have lots of very interesting updates, so let's start. And first we're going to talk about the European Union. We received additional updates about the second day of the European Union summit that is taking place currently on the territory of Belgium. Europeans have changed their minds about using Russian central bank reserves. European Union countries have agreed to provide 90 billion euro in aid to Ukraine for 2026-2027. That was stated by European Council President Antonio Costa. We have reached an agreement. The decision to provide 90 billion euro in aid to Ukraine for 2026-2027 has been approved. The head of the European Council did not specify the source of the funding. The German Chancellor Friedrich Merz stated that Ukraine will receive an interest-free loan from the European Union and will only be required to repay it after Moscow pays compensation. Russian assets will remain frozen until then. So, according to these updates, the European Union provides Ukraine 90 billion euro, and obviously this money is enough for Ukraine to continue the special military operation, to continue fighting with the Russian Federation for another 2 years. So, and telling the truth, this is a very long period of time, and obviously during this period of time the Russians will continue their offensive operation. Obviously during the 2026-2027 we will see clashes on the territory of the Zaporozhye region, on the territory of Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. We might see clashes in the Kharkiv region, and of course the Russians will try to finish the battle for the entire Donetsk region. And telling the truth, I believe, and this is my opinion, that most likely in 2026 something big is going to happen in the region between Odessa region and Transnistria. Furthermore, we had a very interesting report. We received a very interesting report from the President of the United States of America on this matter. He said that every time Russia seizes a lot of land, it changes its mind. I hope Ukraine will act quickly, Trump added. This clearly means that the more territorial gains Russia makes, the more demands it will place on Ukraine in the future. So Kiev needs to agree to peace here and now. That was stated by the President of the United States of America, and most likely he knows what was he saying. Now let's discuss the situation in Ukraine. We have lots of interesting updates. And first, let's talk about the southern part of Ukraine, about Odessa region. During the previous 12 hours, this video was published by pro-Ukrainian sources. In this video, we can see how air defense of Ukraine was trying to bring down a Russian drone that was attacking the bridge in the area of the settlement by the name of Mayaki. So, as you can see, a very heavy explosion. The Russians attacked the bridge, and this is exactly the bridge that was attacked by Russians. This bridge is located along M15 road that goes between, let's say, Moldova and the territory of the city of Odessa. Another important thing, I would like to remind you that this is not the first bridge that was attacked by Russians during the previous days. Several days ago, the Russians attacked the Zatoka bridge. So the Russians attacked this territory, and we have lots of videos from this area. For example, in this video, we can see a train that most likely was damaged or destroyed as a result of Russian attack that took place in the area of the city of Zatoka. And on the 15th of December of 2025, this video was published. Here we can see how exactly the Russians were bombing the Zatoka bridge with drones. During this video, we can count up to 15 drones that the Russians used to attack the bridge. The bridge wasn't destroyed, but obviously the bridge was damaged. So now we see that the Russians began attacking the Ukrainian logistic in this area. And furthermore, the bridge in the area of Mayaki was the bridge that was attacked yesterday. Several days ago, the bridge in Zatoka was damaged, and at the 15th of December, the bridge in the area of the settlement of Sarata was also damaged by a Russian drone. So basically we can say that since the beginning of December, the Russians have damaged up to 3 bridges through the entire southwestern part of Odessa region. So this is the moment when the Russian drone attacked the bridge in this area. So now it's clear that the Russians are trying to destroy the Ukrainian logistic in this area, and this is a very important region of Ukraine, because if we take a look at the map, you might see that there are two roads that go in the direction of the city of Odessa, basically from the territory of let's say Romania or from the territory of Moldova. So this is the first road, this is the second one that goes through the settlement of Zatoka, and all these lines go further in the direction of Romania, which is a NATO country. So Russians are trying to destroy the logistics. Furthermore, the Russians are attacking not just bridges and roads, the Russians continue bombing and attacking the Ukrainian substations and energy infrastructural objects. During the previous night, according to information we have, long-range drones struck a substation in Odessa, causing more than 10 explosions and a massive fire at the site. So the Russians continue bombing this territory. For example, we received lots of videos from this area in the past. Let's discuss them in details. For example, this video was published by the end of 16th of December. There were a few more videos. Let's rewind updates. Let's probably hear. So this is this situation with the blackouts. This is a moment when the Russians were attacking another substation. This is the video, this is the situation with the electricity. So we have lots of videos. So this is the video I'm talking about. This video was published on the 13th of December. During the night between the 12th and the 13th of December, the Russians damaged and destroyed up to 20 substations. And this situation, as you can see, took place almost a week ago. Now it's already the 19th of December, and the Russians continue attacking the objects of critical infrastructure through the entire region. And based on this report, we can make a conclusion that it seems that the Russians are planning for something in this region, that these attacks on Ukrainian energy infrastructural objects have some reason. Furthermore, we have lots of reports published by Ukrainian intelligence service regarding the situation with Transnistria. The Ukrainians are trying to tell us that, for example, the Russians are intensifying their activities on the territory of Odessa region. Not Odessa, the Russians are intensifying their activities on the territory of Transnistria. The Ukrainians are saying that Russians began recruiting process. This is the first thing. Another thing is that Russians are trying to establish drone production facilities through Transnistria, and the Russians are conducting trainings, and they're preparing for something. As of now, we don't know, and we don't have the exact numbers of how many people Russians managed to recruit on the territory of Transnistria, how many production plants the Russians managed to establish, how many drones the Russians are able to create and to produce on the territory of Transnistria. But one thing is clear, that these certain activity on the territory of Transnistria, these Russian attacks on the logistic and energy infrastructural objects on the Odessa region, tell us just about one thing, that obviously something big is going to happen on the territory of Odessa in 2026. And due to the fact that Zelensky rejected the proposal of the Russian Federation, this means that the clashes and some big things in 2026 is inevitable. Now let's move further and let's discuss the situation on the ground. During the previous 12 hours, the Russians continued their offensive operation in the area of the river of Gaichul. Today, several neutral mappers confirmed Russian progress on the ground to the west of the settlement of Dobropolye. The Russians continue improving their positions to the south of Ternovate, and today several pro-Russian reliable sources stated that the Russians continued their offensive operation and that the Russians managed to approach the settlement of Kosintsevo and Ternovate from the south and from the southeast. So it seems that the clashes for these two villages are about to start. If Ukraine loses these two villages, this can lead to very huge problems for the armed forces of Ukraine in the future, and of course for the siege of Zaporozhye. Now let's move further and let's discuss the situation in the area of the city of Mirnograd. Today, several sources reported that most likely today the pro-Russian sources will publish the video with the Russian flag on the theater of Mirnograd. So the sources are saying that Russians began their final offensive operation with the purpose to establish complete control over the city of Mirnograd and to break the last resistance of the Ukrainian forces in this area. So currently there are very heavy clashes, and very likely that during the next 24 hours the Russians will announce complete control over the settlement. Maybe even this will happen during the evening of the 19th of December of 2025. Now let's move further and let's discuss the situation in the Kupiansk direction. During the previous 12 hours, the Ukrainians managed to improve their position significantly. We received a lot of videos that confirm additional progress on the ground from Ukrainian side. The first video is coming from the area of the settlement of Kolesnikovka. This is the way how the map has been changed during the previous 24 hours. This is the situation by the end of the 18th of December. This is the beginning of the 19th. Pro-Russian sources published this video where we can see how Russians were bombing and attacking edge positions of the armored forces of Ukraine in this area. These artillery strikes took place exactly at this point. The Russians were bombing and attacking edge positions of the armored forces of Ukraine. Based on this video, we came to the conclusion that the strongholds to the north, we are talking about these, are under complete control of the armored forces of Ukraine. Furthermore, during the previous 12 hours, we received a video from the city of Kupiansk. In this video that was published by pro-Russian sources, we can see how Russians with FPV drones were attacking positions of the armored forces of Ukraine, basically in the northern part of the settlement. So attacks took place exactly at this building. Based on this video, we came to the conclusion that reports that were published yesterday during the previous days by neutral mappers and pro-Ukraine sources were correct. Based on this video, we adjusted the territory to the north and to the northwest of this point. So Ukrainians continue their counter-offensive operation. Currently, there are very heavy clashes for the city of Kupiansk, but from the other side, the Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation and the President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, said that situation in this area is under complete control of Russian forces, that there is nothing to worry about. The Russians control the situation. Anyway, as we discussed in the previous video, sooner or later we will understand the exact status of the city of Kupiansk, and we believe that this is going to happen even in 2025. Very interesting video is coming from the city of Kharkiv. The pro-Ukrainian sources published this video, and here we can see the city of Kharkiv, and here we can see how Ukrainians began protecting and began establishing the protection nets above the city of Kharkiv. So this video confirms that Ukrainians began preparation for defense for the city itself. According to this video, we can say that Ukrainians expect that the Russians may begin offensive operation in this area in coming months. Another important and also interesting video published from the city of Liman. Here we can see the city of Liman as of the 19th of December of 2025. And here we can see the consequences of use of fiber optic drones. So as you can see, millions of fiber optic lines cover the city of Liman completely. Which means that this is something new, of course, in the special military operation. We haven't seen such a concentration of fiber optics at the same point, and this is the current reality. The pro-Ukrainian sources are saying this is what is happening right now in the territory of the city of Liman, and sometimes due to these millions of fiber optic lines to the city, sometimes it is even very impossible, very difficult, and sometimes impossible to move through the city, because basically you can stack when you're talking about infantry without any chances to get free from this situation. And that's it for the short video. Military Summary channel reminds to we condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.